someone coming from the deep. She gonna sing me a song like I never heard. Where from? How's it work? What you talking about? Early. What you talking about? So good. What you talking about? A little Tarkir.
All right, welcome to episode 1 of Not Another Tragic Slip, the Magic the Gathering podcast focused on spoilers and speculation. I'm Neil Hampson, and I'm joined by
Joey Kyle.
Isn't that weird? And we are intensely casual Magic players.
Oh yeah, and this is our first episode, and we plan to share this wonderful moment of history by joining with you and talking about some of these spoilers that are coming out of the new set, Dragons of Tarkir.
Pretty interesting, lot of dragons.
Yeah,
Fate Reforged was the most dragon-heavy set, or maybe dragon-dense in history, and this is clearly way more dragons.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you like dragons, then you're alive.
Yeah, and I think we're going to try to look at this from a perspective of casual play and whether or not cards deserve hype for standard implications.
Right. I mean, we'll look at tournament value, but
right.
You know, we're not professionals.
Definitely not professional Magic players. We're not financial advisors.
But we're going to make you some money.
Yes. We're going to make lots of suggestions that we can't follow through with. Yeah.
So let's start with the lore because we're recapping the set. Khans of Tarkir opens with, constant warfare between these 5 clans in a world where there are no dragons, but lots of dragon bones. We all understand that those bones also represented pretty bad lands and artifacts, kind of shameful, but Sarkhan Vol, dragon enthusiast, returns to his homeland of Tarkir, goes through those dragon bones, a nexus.
Well, yeah, first of all, he was surprised that there are no dragons. He's kind of angry. And he's like, I need to find Ugin, and I'm going to go through his dead body.
Ugin was his friend. No, Soren was Ugin's friend. Soren is there too, just looking for his friend. Sarkhan Vol goes back in time. Yeah. Right,
because maybe to the time before humans eliminated dragons.
Mm-hmm. Tries to save Ugin's life. Does so partially. Well, saves his life. Right. Doesn't do quite what he wanted to do. Right. Now there are a lot more dragons. So
it's like he eliminated his. How did he travel back in time? Well, by saving Ugin, he eliminated his way to travel back in time. So it's like, well, immediately he's going to jump. Right.
So in Fate Reforged, we see everything change. The clans are destroyed, dragons are everywhere, and then Sarkhan Vol pops back to the future, and now we are going back to the present, the future. With Dragons of Tarkir, we see lots of dragons.
Those dragon lords are still alive in 1,000+ years later.
1,300 years, yeah. So they're elder dragons now, and we'll talk about that. It's kind of strange, seeing how they've changed,
right,
and how the clans have changed. They've all lost their enemy colors. They started as wedges, but it was a one set of wedges in the entire block. Only wedge set in history.
What's a wedge?
Wedge being 2 allied colors and 1 enemy color, such as white, green, and black. Black being the enemy.
So that's Abzan. And so whereas in Fate Reforged, Abzan became Dramoka Brood.
Which is white and green. So they lose the enemy color. They're focused on white. Always been focused on white, which I find strange that it's a little off balance. It would be more balanced maybe for them to be a black clan with white and green splashes. But maybe we'll see that in the future with a different wedge.
I saw that, they did a good job with Khans of flavor, right? I mean, 3 colors you get is amazing. I thought the justification for Jeskai especially, saying why they use those 3 types of magic.
They don't mess with life and living things. But I feel at the same time, by making that flavor so intense, losing that enemy color has made him a lot more.
It seems lackluster, definitely.
I mean, who cares about the Abzan? They're just locked up in their fortresses, right? They don't have undead.
Yeah, right. So here we are, and each of the broods have some new mechanics and some old mechanics. One of the new mechanics for...
Well, let's discuss first just what the cycle is. Each clan had a unique mechanic in Khans of Tarkir, and by Dragons of Tarkir, they each have a new mechanic, and we saw 2 of those get switched out in Fate Reforged, and now we see the other 3 switched out.
One of those being the Atarka or green-red brood has Formidable, which is triggered when your spell ability requires you to have a power equal to 8 or greater of all the creatures on your board. So it can be all 1/1s. You have 8 1/1s. That adds up to 8. Or you can have 1/8/8, and that triggers Formidable, which often gives you a cool ability. We're hoping it's
hopefully something good.
Right.
I'm not sold on it so far because, like you said when we were talking earlier, it's kind of a win more ability. It seems like, and I'm not sure that I'm going to see a lot of value in it. Not from what we're looking at.
Definitely not. You're not going to top deck something with Formidable and you're going empty board and you're like, well, that's that.
Right. Now, what we see instead, Exploit is something that I think is a little strange, but I like where it is. I like where it is in Standard. It's an ability where when the creature with Exploit enters, you can sacrifice another creature you control, which you're playing black. This is the Stilmgar blue-black brood. And I don't see it as something you're going to be scared to do most of the time. It's similar to an old mechanic, Devour, with less ability. I mean, I think it's weaker than Devour, but you're going to see perhaps better abilities tied to it. When you trigger Exploit, this happens. Something good, hopefully.
Maybe your creature has a bad enchantment that your opponent put on it, and you're just like, well, I'll be glad to sacrifice it. Or I'll give up my 2/2 zombie so that I can get this awesome trigger.
And for at least a couple months, we're still playing with Whip of Erebos in Standard, which means if you sacrifice that creature, you can whip it back in. Not a problem.
Not a problem. You can always enter the battlefield triggers. Okay, and then the last new one is Rebound for the Jeskai. Someone I was actually definitely my first favorite quote-unquote clan. I'm excited. It's definitely a spell mechanic where I play a spell right now, and then if it resolves, assuming my opponent does not counter it, at the beginning of my next upkeep, I will copy that spell.
Did you mention it's called Rebound?
Yes,
Did you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So awesome! It's a copy. It's like you're Howl of the Horde on any.
On a delay.
On a delay, right? So they see it coming from a mile away. They know what's going to happen, which may make them concede the game because they know they can't.
Ideally.
And then you'll trigger Prowess twice, and so there are some cards. And in Draft that we're thinking about, there are some in Favor Forge that would have Prowess that this would be applicable for.
Because Prowess no longer exists in Dragons of Tarkir. It's been replaced by Rebound.
This is the new Jeskai mechanic. Mm-hmm. And then the old mechanics that are sticking around.
Right, we're seeing Bolster and Dash came in Fate Reforged. Bolster being the Abzan mechanic of placing counters on your creature with the lowest toughness, which in white-green, could end up being your Elvish Mystic or your Caryatid, which is not the greatest.
That has a Caryatid, for example, that has the ability to deal one more damage and survive one more damage.
Good blocker.
That's pretty good. But it's very Abzan. We're gonna get better as a team. I'm not gonna overshadow the team. But
you kind of got to pick your field in that case and make sure you've got the right things available for Bolster. But Dash is a completely independently minded ability. It's one returning from older sets, and I've liked it so far. It's the ability for a creature to enter the battlefield with haste and then return to your hand at the end of your turn. Usually with, even on commons, effects that happen when that creature attacks.
Definitely, yeah. Like notables being Goblin Heel Cutter.
Goblin Heel Cutter is a nice one. It's very fun
good
to
at draft, and perhaps, and people are trying to jam it into mono red aggro standard decks.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's awesome. Very, very Mardu mechanic. That makes a lot of sense.
Attack quickly. Yeah. I think it makes a great replacement for Raid because, let me be honest, I didn't like Raid at all. Yeah, it didn't feel like it rewarded speed. It felt like it rewarded slowness almost.
Right. Or maybe I'm going to attack with my 1/1 so that I can get my Raid trigger.
Right.
And then
where's the speed in that? You'd think haste. Just give them haste instead.
And then the overarching, they're bringing back Morph with a new face. It's called Megamorph. It's essentially the exact same thing. You're casting a face-down creature for 3 mana, so they can't decide. They can't tell if it's from Khans or it's from Dragons of Tarkir. So,
of course, in draft you can.
Right. Yes. Then they'll be printing Morph tokens again. So it's a 2/2 Morph creature, but if it is flipped up, it will get the +1/+1. Counter permanently. So that's so maybe a smaller body, but it gets the +1/+1, and
Could be good, yeah.
could be good.
And we're seeing now the completion of the morph cycle, where the face-down creatures in cons we came out with morph, and that's an old ability. We've seen it before. Right. Then we saw Manifest in Fate Reforged, which was not a creature from your hand, but anything from the top of your library.
Yeah, it could be an island. Probably is an island.
Pretty fun. Usually an island.
If you're playing mono red.
Watching your Chief of the Edge die to an island.
Yeah, it
pretty
happens.
Cool.
I was just gonna say that this is kind of a cop out. I think flavor wise, first of all, it's called Megamorph.
I mean, what is this, Power Rangers?
Right, it's definitely a Power Rangers reference. I heard someone say that it's a euphemism for we ran out of ideas.
Yeah. I'm not fond of Megamorph. The name, the flavor, I mean, it's exactly the same as Morph, but you get a 1/1 counter, which, by the way, favors the Abzan.
Right, sure.
By far, because they have many abilities that
are dependent upon having
having a 1/1 counters.
Yeah.
Really, I don't think it's a good idea.
No. But, yeah.
I'm hopeful for the rest of the set that isn't Megamorph.
Right. I would love to be in on some of those research and development teams, like someone trying to pitch this idea.
Right.
But when you win some, you lose some. Yeah. So far, so good.
I really would have gone with, Manifest as an in-between point. Say Morph. Okay. Manifest could be anything as a creature. You can't flip it if it's not a creature. Okay. And then go to playing a spell as a face down, and then flipping it and activating that spell.
That'd be really cool.
How good would that be?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Get at me, wizards.
Yeah. I'll give you his contact info. You want to start hitting these the home runs of the real deal? These cards that have never seen the light of day.
Oh yeah, these are new cards, and we are about to talk.
What's the count right now? Magic cards? I think it's like 13,600 or something.
That sounds right, based on my wild estimate.
Yes, your very specific wild estimate.
All right, so let's talk about the spoilers. Dragon's Lord Reaper is the first card that was spoiled. It costs 7 mana total. It's double black. It's a flying dragon, of course. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand and there are 5 or more other creatures on the battlefield, destroy all other creatures. I think we'd call it very specific scenario board wipe. Right. A board wipe for a reasonable price. Yeah. Same cost as Crooks of Fate, but you get a 5/6 flyer out of it.
Wait, it's not the same cost as Crooks of Fate. It's a 7 mana card. Crooks of Fate is a 5 mana card.
What did I say? Yeah. But so for 2 extra mana, you get a 5/6 flyer.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Against tokens only, though. Right. I mean, there's just no way, unless you're also playing creatures, in which case, do you really want to wipe the board?
I don't know.
Potentially.
Right. It's one of those things that I don't, there's not a logical deck for it.
Right.
And
so think about what you'd have to do. Unless you're playing against tokens, you have to play creatures just so that you can wipe them. I don't like it.
No. Well, no, hopefully you have like one weenie left on the battlefield, and then it just happens to add up to 5.
And they have 4?
Yeah. Sure.
Not unreasonable, but pretty dangerous position to be in.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you need a board wipe. You top deck the Dragon Lord Reaper. Makes sense to me. No.
I'd rather just Crooks of Fate.
Yeah, not happy about that card. Okay.
So that was revealed in Chinese. That was the first thing that everyone saw, and we're all thinking,
could it get any better than this?
Why is it like that?
Right. I think that was an accident. Let's briefly mention there are 3 commons that kind of represent what the new mechanics for the broods are.
Well, Dash we've seen before.
Yes. But. So Stampeding Elk Herd, very cool. 5-drop, 5/5 with Formidable. So Formidable being you need 8 power greater on your side of the board, including this card, which has 5. So that's pretty close. Creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. That triggers when it attacks. So I mean, I'm gonna definitely down. But it's a common.
5 mana for a 5/5 is not unreasonable.
Cool and limited.
Let's just say it's a decent. I mean, it's an even cost.
Yep.
If you're triggering Formidable, that's probably game because you're apparently already. That's not true. You could have a 3/3 with the Stampeding Elk Herd to get Formidable. That's not that big to trample with.
No.
Okay.
Okay, Sprinting Warbrute, the Dash comment. I just like it because, Dash, and what we saw in Fate Reforged was a lot of 3 power creatures.
Right.
And this is a 5 power.
A 5/4 for 4 mana?
That's... If you see an opening, why not dash this in?
And if you're dashing, it's because you see an opening.
Right.
So.
And there's lightning while he's sprinting.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's pretty
Is he coming out of the lightning or?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then we'll finish with Silumgar Butcher. I don't know what's going on in the art. It looks like he's been impaled.
Very bizarre.
Playing with some bodies. But the point is, zombie Jin. I don't think I've ever seen a zombie Jin before.
Probably not.
I'm into zombies. I like tribal. I like that it's tribal. This represents exploit. When it enters, sacrifice a creature. When Silumgar Butcher exploits a creature, target creature, it's -3/-3 until end of turn. So a Bile Blight for your own thing, and you come out with a 3/3.
Yeah, which is possible.
I don't really
take out a Mantis Rider with my token.
I'd rather Bile Blight.
Yeah, but this is a body.
A 3/3.
That's not bad. I don't know. And also, it's important that exploit is a may. You don't have to do it. It's not a requirement, which is nice.
But that's the thing. If it were 5 mana for a 3/3 and Bile Blights as well, that would be really good.
Quick question: can you exploit twice?
No, it only happens once. Right. It's not like Devour. It's a lot weaker.
Right. Okay. But it's not. You can.
But maybe it's what
standard
needs right now.
Right. Okay. Next, I don't know. I think we jump to what's pretty exciting. You may be wondering what happened to the former Khans of Tarkir. And they take the form of bizarre things like this undead Sidisi. So this Sidisi undead Vizier, she's 5 mana, 2 black in the casting cost, so 3 black, death touch, 4/6 with exploit. And this exploit's pretty wonderful, I think.
I'm a big fan of a tutor.
Yes. So
with a 4/6 body.
So when she exploits, you may search your library for a card. Put it into your hand. So it's I first read it as on top of your library, but this is in your hand. It's immediate.
Straight up tutor.
If she's removed, you get a card. That's I just think that's good value.
The standard, the balancing of demonic tutor, the classic. You've got diabolic tutor. It's a 4 converted mana cost, 2 black.
Right.
You add 1 to that, and you get a 4/6 death touch.
But you need to exploit. But still,
I'll take it.
Right, I'll take it any day.
I'd kill a siege rhino for that. Right. Whip it back in.
And legendary creature. So you couldn't do this twice, but yeah.
You could. You could exploit another Sidisi.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. A worst case snenario.
That's a 4/0. Yeah. It's not, but you can conceivably do that continuously.
Yep. Yeah.
Now that's a good chain. Play Sidisi. Tutor for another Sidisi next turn.
Sidisi.
You're not really getting any value out of that, but you should do it.
No, don't do it. Yeah.
We forgot about Ojutai's Summons is the other common showing the new mechanic Rebound. 5 mana, a 2/2 flying Jin monk on the field, and then you rebound at the beginning of your next upkeep, get another one.
So 5 mana for 2/2 flyers, similar to Rise of the Eagles, which is actually costs 1 more mana.
Right.
And
is more immediate.
Yes.
This is slower.
Yes, but maybe you're at a Bile Blight, or they have to wait to cast their Bile Blight. I don't know. I think there are times and you double trigger prowess.
It's not strictly worse.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm a sucker for Jeskai. Speaking of Jeskai,
let's move on to Profound Journey.
Yeah, Profound Journey.
Mm-hmm. I'll describe it. It is 7 mana sorcery.
5 white.
Right. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And rebound. I think that's really good. I think people are going to find a place for it.
So permanent being land, planeswalker, creature.
Planeswalker. They drop your Sarkhan Vol, take him back. And then take him back again if they get rid of him.
Yes. We briefly mentioned that if you get an Ugin from your Profound Journey, you're going to have this in the draft, right? You're going to have a Profound Journey and an Ugin.
Yeah, that's
You're going to have enough mana to cast both of them.
Yeah.
You get your Ugin, you minus X for all of it, killing your Ugin, and then you get your Ugin back.
Yeah, the next turn.
Yeah. So that's Ugin with board wipe and a live ability. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But how often are you going to need to minus 7 Ugin to wipe the board?
Every day. No.
Most of the dragons are only 6.
That's true. Yeah. Let's move on to
the dragons.
Let's
start with dragon art. We've got Radiant Purge here, still in the white. Exile target multicolored creature or multicolored enchantment for 2 converted mana cost, 1 white. That's incredible. That's straight into the sideboards
Yes.
of every white deck.
Right, because theoretically, yeah, you probably don't want to put in your main board because you're like, they're mono red. That doesn't matter.
Right.
So like, what are some big targets you would take down with Radiant Purge?
Creatures or enchantments. Now, enchantments kind of, I mean, you're getting rid of the ascendancies. We've seen Temur Ascendancy and Jeskai Ascendancy be very powerful. You're getting rid of the creatures, the Dragon Lords, whatever comes in.
And then I just think of Khan's bombs, like a Mantis Rider Siege. Oh, man, Mantis Rider, Siege Rhino, Savage Knuckleblade being big culprits.
You're hosing Sidisi Whip deck.
Yes.
Because you've got your Sidisi, you've got your Siege Rhino. Those are not getting whipped back in when they're exiled.
It's interesting to think of this card and how long it'll last in Standard because, I mean, who knows what the next block is going to be like. And
this is getting gods, too. We're still talking about Theros block is in Standard. Those gods are out of here.
Multicolored enchantment. That just screams Theros. Yeah.
Right. Whether they're a creature or not based on devotion, that's gone.
Definitely. Next we move on. Another two mana. This is an enchantment. 1 and a red called Dragon Tempest. Very excellent art. Lots of electricity going around. Looks like Kolaghan. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control.
We're looking at a dragon-heavy play. And
or at least a flying-heavy play. Yeah, at the very least.
Certainly, but the dragon damage is just requiring you to have a lot of dragons in your deck, and they've been trying to push that. It's not going to happen in Standard.
No, we don't think so. Well, who knows?
We haven't seen all the spoilers here, but
like
it definitely didn't happen in Fate. Because
way.
The Fate dragons just did not cut it.
No. So I'm actually more excited about the flying haste thing.
Right.
I mean, people you get a Hornet Queen giving haste. Whatever. Who cares? But I think that there's enough cards in this set, and this being a 2-drop enchantment, I think there's potential.
It could find a place.
Yeah. I don't know.
In red.
I mean, I think everyone discounted all the sieges, and I think this is maybe, I don't know, but we're getting it. Yeah,
I love the sieges on the spoilers.
I feel like most people were saying this is not going to see any play. Yeah,
they were definitely underestimated all around.
Right. Next, maybe we'll go into, before we hit the heavy hitters, we'll go into another. This is actually a Japanese card that's been leaked. Thunderbreak Regent, which is actually part of a cycle, right?
Yeah, there are regions. Now, here's the thing with the cost, this being double red, it being, another rare dragon. I'm thinking that the Dragon Lord's Reaper that we saw before being translated, I think that was probably a regent.
Maybe it could actually
it was a regent.
Have the card, the name regent.
Right, in English, yeah. They could have completely different names in other languages. But we're looking at a dragon that has an ability, whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability your opponent controls, Thunderbreak Regent deals 3 damage to that player, which is, again, making it a really heavy on the dragons here. We're looking at hoping that you have multiple dragons that just become not quite hexproof, but punishing.
Right. I mean, even this, like you're dropping a 4/4 flyer that, if they do feel obligated to remove it, they're gonna see some bad.
Right. You're talking about a 4/4 flyer for 4. Right. That's good.
That's not bad. No. Yeah. Maybe really quickly, do you want to talk about the other regent that's been leaked?
Yeah, we see later. Today came out the Sunscorch Regent. This is 5 mana. It's a flying 4/3. So on the surface seems a lot weaker. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, though, you put a 1/1 counter on Sunscorch Regent and gain 1 life. Now, that life gain, isn't a big deal. But we're talking about this thing's coming in as a 4/3, and as soon as someone tries to lightning strike it, well, it's a 5/4, sorry. Which means obviously they're not going to do that, but
I think they're good, and I like that it's your opponent second guesses their actions both of those cards.
It's adding an extra cost to their spellcasting.
They have to definitely take that into account. Yeah.
And that's any spell they're casting. It's not like the red regent.
No, right. It's almost like prowess.
Anytime they cast a spell,
creature or non-creature is actually better than prowess.
It's
right. Any spell.
Reverse prowess.
Reverse prowess. Okay. This is a pretty heavy hitter.
Keep going with the dragons. We're going to talk about Dragon Lord Silumgar. This is the first dragon leaked, and ultimately, I am underwhelmed.
So maybe remind people what the old Silumgar was.
The old Silumgar, 6 mana in blue-black. The new Silumgar is the same. The old one was a 3/7 flying hexproof. And whenever he attacked, I forgot about this, enemy creatures get -1/-1. Saw some interest in blue-black control because it's just a big flying wall that's really hard to get rid of.
And can take care of tokens if need be.
Can wipe tokens. Now, we look at Dragon Lord Silumgar in Dragons of Tarkir, and we don't see that same capability. He's down to a 3/5, has Death Touch instead of Hexproof. I mean, nice on a wall to have Death Touch, but he's a lot easier to take care of.
There's actually some speculation on the art here that Tassiger is actually around his neck dead. Isn't that pretty wild?
I believe it. I like that.
I like that. Or, I mean, regardless, there is a body around in a necklace.
Yeah.
He definitely looks, this is opulent.
What are those things surrounding him?
Not sure.
Wheat? People? I can't tell.
Gold, of course, yeah. But
regardless, he's got another ability. Huge ability that I really like, except for the fact that he's so easy to get rid of. When he enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature or planeswalker for as long as you control Dragon Lord Silumgar. But we're not talking about you controlling it for very long. I mean, maybe I'm being pessimistic here.
Well, actually, interestingly, what if you take control of their planeswalker and then do you tick the planeswalker up? Because then they get rid of Silumgar and then they get the planeswalker back with a higher loyalty. Right. Maybe you just keep minusing their planeswalker.
Right. Try to kill it.
Right.
Not bad. Yeah. Except, can't you only activate planeswalker abilities at sorcery speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I mean, if they eliminate it immediately, then obviously there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. I'm very uncertain as to whether or not this will see any play whatsoever.
I'm fairly confident that we'll not see play, except in, maybe a fringe deck where somebody is just playing it in the place of the better Silumgar.
Yeah.
And they're waiting until they have the mana to counter the first spell that will clear it. Which is a 1 mana murderous cut.
On the line of Silumgar, we have his assassin.
Yes.
This is our first pretty good Megamorph card.
I like it.
Yeah.
This gives me, it gives me hope for Megamorph. Not as a good mechanic, but look at how well it's being used here.
I don't want to say Megamorph. No. Yeah. But so let's say you cast this as a face-down creature for 3 mana. And then you unmegamorph it, I guess, for 2 and a black, so 3 mana total. And when it's turned face up, destroy target creature with power 3 or less that an opponent controls. Not bad.
I like it.
Take out a Corsair Crew Fix, take out a lot of relevant...
You're killing little things.
Right.
Well, you're killing a little thing, and then he's, the assassin is continuously killing other little things because big creatures can't block it.
Oh, we did not say the creatures with power greater than this card cannot block it.
So when you megamorph it, instead of it being a 2/1, it's a 3/2. That means that anything with power 4 or greater, that's your Siege Rhino, whatever, can't block this guy.
But walls can. But I mean, we have not seen a lot of
certainly.
Walls. Yeah, right. I think
most
it's odd.
Assassins get stopped by walls. I think
it's odd that
doesn't make any sense.
I mean, whatever. Stopped by walls. I think it's odd that this is an assassin that doesn't have Death Touch. I think. Right. I thought almost every assassin
or a dagger. We didn't talk about the art really. It's a man with a spear, a big spear, kind of coming out of vortex here. Really looks like he just fell out of Theros block. Honestly.
Right. So yeah, who knows what's going on there with flavor, but it is what it is. Actually, I'm going to take a step back because we did not mention that there's another Megamorph card. It's quite interesting.
Good one.
That was leaked a little earlier, which is Stratus Dancer. And this Megamorph costs cheaper. So once again, you cast it face down, then you can unmegamorph it for 2, 1 in a blue. Turn it face up. Yeah, let's just say turn it face up. When it is turned face up, counter target instant or sorcery spell. So that's any instant or sorcery spell. It's like a negate, but better on a stick.
That's an idea that I've entertained before. It's not quite a negate. Can't counter an enchantment.
Right.
Can't counter a planeswalker.
No. Right. Non-creature.
So it's weaker, But then you end up with your
3/2.
3/2 flying.
Oh, I actually did not realize I had flying. That makes it a lot better. Makes sense.
It's not a bad card at all.
No.
I mean, if they're playing something that you can't counter with it, you use your other counter
Right.
spell.
Not a bad idea, and maybe some control decks may find a slot for it. Next, maybe we can move on and talk about actually a series of 5 cards.
Yeah, we'll kind of run through them. I don't think each of them needs a
lecture. No. We're definitely more excited about some than others, but these are pretty excitingly going to be the fronts of the intro packs. We know that for certain. We're certain about that.
Yeah, which is, I think, good because they're cool appearances.
They're big dragons. They're big.
They're expensive. They're your cool rare that you want to play, but won't.
And I think the names are pretty cool.
Definitely.
I just want to start knocking them out. You take the first.
Let's stop with Irrational Sovereign. Now here's one that 7 mana. This is the Dramoka Brood, green-white, 6/6 flying. When it dies, you, being its controller, may put it on top or the bottom of its owner's library. So conceivably a weird situation where your opponent threatens it, use act of treason or something. Yasova wouldn't work, and then kills it on their turn, and they choose where it goes.
Most likely it's not going to happen, but still that's crazy.
Not likely, but I'm going to do it.
Right. Neil loves to use active treason, but in most of the case, you're
collateral damage.
It's going to die, and then you're going to be the one in charge. Do I want to have this and screw my next draw step and get this giant dragon that I maybe want to play?
I don't think
so. I'll probably put it on the bottom of my library.
I'd put it in the graveyard, straight in the graveyard.
I can't though. Oh, I may. Oh, let's put it in the graveyard.
Yeah. What's the point of that ability? Just put it in your graveyard, delve it, or just reanimate it. Who cares?
Let's stop talking about it. How about a Necromaster Dragon? We're in the blue-black colors, so 3 blue-black. Pretty cool art. Flying 4/4. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 colorless mana. If you do, put a 2/2 black zombie creature into the battlefield. And each opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or her library in the graveyard.
I hate it.
I just want to say really quickly, that 2 cards it's going to matter a lot. It's going to matter a lot.
If it's an Irrational Sovereign.
That's true. Oh, yeah.
If they're foolish enough to put it on top of their library, you use that Necromaster.
That's right.
Otherwise, I hate when mill is just tacked onto something like this.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's thrown in there. But you get a zombie.
I'll pay for the zombie once, maybe.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, his name is Necromaster. That's pretty cool.
I like it more than the Sovereign. Let's move on to the Boltwing Marauder. We're talking about 5 mana. This is the Kolagon, black-red. 5/4 flyer. I like that already.
Yep.
You're getting your power
aggro.
in the air. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, another creature that is, target creature gets 2 until end of turn. And this doesn't have haste. So what do? You wait until you can attack with it.
Hopefully it's
play
still
another
there.
creature, and now you've got a 7/4 in the air.
Not bad. Definitely beats the other 2 so far.
Oh yeah, I think they just get better.
And I like that it's versatile. It's not you have to do it on this creature.
Right.
Unfortunately, you do have to decide. It's not instant speed unless you have a flash creature. That would be a good combo.
Right.
But I think not bad. You're going to be pumping, and that's exactly what Black-Red needs to do.
Let's just go back to Raid and how much I hated it. This is the opposite of Raid.
Right.
You're never gonna.
You're preparing
combine
the assault.
those.
You're getting another creature.
Because in Raid you're playing at second main.
Yeah.
That does nothing in this case.
I kind of want to save that for last, so we're going to go with. You want to take it?
Harbinger of the Hunt is. I lied when I said they get better. I don't like this one at all. 5/3 in Atarka colors, red, green, flying, for 5 mana. That's, again, you're getting your power, but with less toughness, and that's kind of weird looking at black-red versus red-green, that this one has less toughness. But for 3 mana in either red or green, it can deal 1 damage to each creature, either without flying or with flying.
And you spend green or red mana. Yeah.
I don't like it.
It's conditional, pretty much just against tokens. No, not good.
You're not getting an amazing creature for your mana, and then I don't want to pay 3 mana for a third of the effect of Anger of the Gods.
No, I'm not going to buy this intro pack. That's for certain.
Nope.
But of all the intro packs, I think this is definitely going to be the one that I'm most considering. Not
This next one,
pack.
yeah, this next one.
Is Pristine Skywise. So it's 4 and then white blue. So 6 total. This is the Ojutai Dragon. And I like it for reasons that are obvious. It's a 6/4 flyer, already better than all the other dragons.
Good, you're getting your power.
Or no, Arishan technically had 6 power, but still. When you cast a non-creature spell, any non-creature spell, untap Pristine Skywise, it gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Untapping and protection from the color of your choice, I think that's, and maybe you don't even cast this until you can ensure you have like a 1 mana spell to protect it. I just think that's
I can
great.
see so many cases where this is so good that it's overkill.
Yeah.
I've done that with my combos with Agent of the Fates. That's a card I love from Theros. And there are times when I untap it or something just to block, but then their attacking creature's already gone. And I feel like Pristine Skywise is just, that effect is so strong that you're going to have times where you cast something just for the effect.
Right, totally. Well, I can imagine, if we're going classic Jeskai, attacking with this card and then casting Titan Strain. So I played it on creature spell. I'm going to say protection before you declare blockers. So I've already attacked. I cast a spell, so I'm going to untap and then give protection from whatever color you're playing, and then swing for 9 in the air. You can't do anything about it. And that's... Yeah, I think so much versatility. I think protection is way better than any of this other garbage that has been tossed on these other...
You have to be careful with that, though, because that ability triggers before the spell resolves.
Okay.
You can't give it protection from red, or that Titan Strength fizzles.
Oh, Barnabas.
So I just realized that, and that's going to be a little bit interesting, but I still think it's a phenomenal dragon for the intro packs compared to all the others.
Combined.
I mean, Boltwing's up there, but Pristine Skywise is our top choice for the intro packs.
Definitely. Let's save the best for last. Let's go. Go something. We're going with our first mythic, right? This is our first mythic.
Yeah, it is, and it's no, the Dragon Lord I think was a mythic. Was that the case?
Silgar was. So this is our second mythic.
But this is the first non-Dragon Lord mythic, and the art is just weird. I'm not going to really describe it. You'll see it for yourself. What we're going to see here, though, is Shaman of Forgotten Ways. 3 mana in green, 2/3, and it's a mana dork, and it's a beefy mana dork. Tap, add 2 mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool. Spend it only to cast creatures. What do you think of that?
We're limited. Limiting.
I do like limited mana uses, but in this case, it's kind of weird. Definitely. It makes sense in both Temur and it makes sense in Atarka. You're putting down creatures, but it's kind of weird.
Right. I like that it's any combo. It's just like the options are endless. Like putting this in a really random deck,
and this is a monocolored creature, so you could do
you can splash green for this.
Right.
Or you
can put them in your Soul Tide deck.
Right. I think this provides promise for a 5-color deck.
Let's see it. Somebody prove Joey right.
I'll take that red for Mantis Rider, and then I'll take this black for Siege Rhino. That sounds good.
But he's got something else. He's got Formidable.
You're right. He has something else. It's odd because he has Formidable that costs 11 mana to activate. 9 green.
I unconditionally hate this ability for 11 mana. I mean, this is the definition of an ability that you don't need to use.
I don't know the last time I saw a casting cost of an ability that high in standard.
In an ability?
I can't think of it. That doesn't have X. So then you tap, and each player's life total becomes the number of creatures he or she controls. Activate this ability only if you've triggered Formidable. So if you've done that, you've only got 2 power here, so you've at least got another creature that have 6 power. So your life total could be 2, and your opponent's could be 0. So it could be a game winner in that respect.
But here's the kicker: you have to tap to cast that.
Yes.
Presumably, you have more creatures than your opponent, so your life total is higher. Right. But the Shaman does not count for that attack because you got to tap him for it.
I just think
unless you do it at the end of their turn,
right. But you're just gonna, I'm gonna keep 11 mana open. I wonder what I'm gonna do.
If you've got 11 mana open,
right.
don't use it on that.
It's garbage. It's garbage.
Because they're just gonna hit you. I mean, they're gonna shock jolt you.
I think the great part about Elvish Mystic, Sylvan Caryatid, Whisper of the Wilds, Generator Servant, we can even throw in. I guess those. They're 2-drops or 1-drops. And this is a slot that is so coveted in most decks that are competitive. You're not going to want ramp this late in the game. They're going to have a cheap answer like collateral damage or magma jet, something to take it out. And I
don't waste your 3-drop on this card.
Oh, yes, do not. And by the way, magma jet will not take it out. But still.
But 2 mana will get you Whisper of the Wilds, and if you're triggering Ferocious, which you are if you're trying to trigger Formidable,
it's definitely easier than Formidable,
then you're going to get 2 mana anyway.
And it's less of a target. I don't know. Yeah. Why would you waste a lightning strike on a Whisper?
I'd like to see the cost on. I have not looked this up on Star City.
This card?
Yeah.
I believe it's $5 or $6.
$5 or $6?
Yeah.
That's because it's a mythic, yeah.
Yeah, it's because...
I predict that to go down.
Yes, definitely. No, yeah. I think it'll tank at 1. A lot of mythics do that. But we, thank goodness, we saved the best for last. In my opinion. I don't know.
This is... And what's so good is it's going to leave you wanting more. Because this is the first of a cycle that has us really excited.
Yes. It's just a rare, too. So
it's a rare. It's not a mythic.
You're going to get some.
And there are going to be 4 more of them, 1 for each brood. This one is in white-blue. It's Ojutai's Command. Now, we've seen commands before, right?
The most famous and most expensive, I believe it's a $100 card, is Cryptic Command. Is the blue, and there's a blue, green, black, red version. They're all monocolored.
Phenomenal.
And they're the best part about them is that you choose 2 ability
of 4. There are 4 listed abilities, and you get 2 of them. And maybe each of those abilities is not a great value
by itself
for what you're looking at for the mana cost of half the mana cost, but you get a choice.
Right, it's versatility.
Versatility is important.
Because, so let's go over the 4. And let's say like worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, cool combos. So choose 2 of these awesome. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Boom. You gain 4 life. Boom. Counter target creature spell. Boom. Draw a card. Boom.
Yeah, now look at that.
Imagine, what would you do? I mean,
imagine they're they're trying to play their Shaman of Forgotten Ways, and you say, "Oh my God, I can't let him trigger that 11 mana Formidable counter target creature spell. I got to do it." And draw a card. You're looking at 1 blue counter target creature spell. That's a thing.
Yes.
Essence Scatter. It's not in standard right now, but that is the exact cost of Essence Scatter.
Yeah.
So the remaining cost, 1 white. Draw a card. That's not too bad.
No.
It's not too bad. I wouldn't, Divination, draw 2 cards for 3 mana.
It's
okay.
I'm thinking pretty long and hard about the first ability, returning a creature card with converted cost 2 or better, 2 or less. I think of like Soulfire Grandmaster being a 2-drop with amazing. It has lifelink and it's pretty amazing. And actually, in the article written about this card, people were teasing us by mentioning a card that in this set to be printed that we may want to bring back with converted mana cost 2 or less. That was in the appropriate colors.
Oh, your Shaman of the Forgotten Ways.
Oh yes. Oh no. Converted mana cost is not.
Oh, converted mana
cost, not power.
That's right. I'm thinking power.
Right. You're thinking of a less show, which brings back power 2 or less.
But we're looking at
Seeker of the Way.
Seeker of the Way. That's a classic choice.
That's a great one.
I mean,
Mana Dorks. I don't know.
I'm definitely expecting that. Option 1, returning a creature card to the battlefield, and option 3, counter target creature spell, will be probably the primary uses. Maybe draw a card as well. Gaining 4 life is almost never going to be a use of this card, I don't think. But it's there. If you need it, it's there.
It's there. Okay. Well, that's actually, as of right now, this is late on Tuesday, the 3rd of March. That's all the spoilers that have been leaked so far. So we're keeping up with it as you are.
And they've done a good job. More spoilers came out than I thought.
Yes,
it's pretty exciting.
Definitely. Let me throw in a little tidbit that they've also released the packaging that all the booster packs are going to come in. Really cool art on all of them. You can see like what creatures and faces are going to be on the booster packs themselves. Two of them stick out, right?
We saw Sarkhan Vol.
Sarkhan's back.
Who's one of the main characters of the current storyline. I wasn't sure if we were going to see him again as a Planeswalker because he's already in this block, but I'm expecting we're going to see him again as a Planeswalker. And we were speculating earlier between the two of us in red-green, perhaps, because there is no green Planeswalker in this block. And Sarkhan Vol is the name of the Planeswalker card that was originally red-green.
And I like the idea of returning to his original, like maybe he's thought through his...
He's been through horrible times. Sarkhan the Mad, awful card, was red-black. He's been through bad stuff, and now he feels at peace because the dragons have returned to his homeland. I would like to see him in red-green. Yeah. A Tarkir colors.
That would be pretty cool.
Maybe Yasova left her mark when she healed him, and he feels that connection to nature again.
It's very unclear as to what role he's playing in the world right now.
Right.
And then someone that he interacted with before he traveled back in time, who we was killed in the original timeline, is Narset, who in some of the lore articles is kind of like talked about very vaguely as maybe she was a heretic or she's no longer here, she was exiled, she was killed, but she's on a booster pack. It has to be Narset, right?
Well, we've seen now in the lore that in the in the Dragons of Tarkir, she's around, but she tells Sarkhan that she's different. She no longer belongs. And what we know about the Ojutai is that they gave up their red. Well, they're blue-white. They gave up all of their passion, their fire, their aggression. Narset's not the kind of person to give up her aggression.
No.
That belongs with her.
And the art, she looks terrifying.
She looks mad.
She looks very mad.
And we know she's going to be red because of that. We know that there are no wedges in Dragons Tarkir, so she's not going to be Jeskai colors, which means she's red and blue or red and white, or just red. But that would be bad.
That would probably be bad.
I think blue-red.
Yes, I think that'd be cool. And I think two Planeswalkers, being Sarkhan and Narset, would be perfect.
Both red, though.
Yeah, that's weird. Right. Maybe weird. That's a lot of red Planeswalkers in this block.
Sarkhan, Dragon Speaker, all red.
Maybe Sarkhan's going to be what's the color that's lacking in Planeswalker land? Green-black. The Sarkhan Vol, I'm calling it. No.
Sarkhan Vol, risen from the dead.
Who knows?
Maybe Tassiger comes back as a green-black.
Maybe.
Bringing back the living part of his clan. He's angry at Silumgar, and it's going to be a $55 card.
But we need some green Planeswalker action, definitely. But that's really exciting. I think Narset is like one of the coolest cards from Cons. So.
I think we all have our fingers crossed that Narset is a Planeswalker and a good one.
And a good one. Please. That's like my favorite thing.
He's kind of the background hero of the storyline.
Right. Although, in the lore, definitely. Anything to tie together? How are you feeling so far about spoilers, speculation? If you had to throw $100,000 at a card that you've seen so far. I'm just kidding.
I don't like anything that I've seen.
Yeah?
Not off the bat. Let me take that back. I just agreed with you how much I liked the command. I don't see a place for it in how I play, but there are 4 other commands coming out.
Yes.
The Dragons, interesting. I would love to pull one in a draft and drop it on somebody.
Literally just drop it.
But frankly, looking at what I've seen so far, Silumgar being the first Dragon Lord, I'm not very happy with the cycle. Well, okay, the commands, but the Dragon Lords.
Yeah. I like the secondary dragons more so far.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting.
The regions, yeah.
I think that I just want to go back to Silumgar. It's so disappointing that he's so much more frail than he was in the past. But you have to consider that he was probably the strongest of the the legendary dragons in Fate. So maybe they understand that, and I'm thinking maybe they're balancing. I'm thinking that one of the other dragons will actually be pretty noticeable.
Hopefully.
I think it's a Tarka.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, she had double strike in the last.
Tarka wasn't great in Fairy Forge. Double strike's pretty cool,
but seven mana.
But think about what kind of powerhouses can lie in red-green colors.
Yeah. I'm just excited because this is a big set versus Fairy Forge, where they were like trickling in, and still felt a smaller set. So very, very, very exciting. I got a question for you. How much do you think Ojutai's Command is pre-selling for? It's just a rare.
Have you looked it up?
Yes.
Okay. 8?
6.
Okay.
And I think it's gonna. I speculate I think it's gonna go up.
It's gonna go up during this standard.
Yeah, right. And let's see the rest of the
post rotation. It's not gonna survive.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, probably not.
I'm speculating.
Cryptic Command was printed so long ago. I mean, I don't think it's the same caliber.
Cryptic Command is amazing.
Right. But
this is 2 colors.
Yes, right. It's more limiting.
Colors is always harder to play.
Yes, but speaking of which, I think because Khans was so set on obviously the clan colors and stuff. And when you saw someone like differing from those wedges, it was odd, like in a tournament setting. And I hope that because we're sticking with two color wedges, that we're going to see some interesting stuff. Like I really want to see like Bant. Green, blue, white become a thing.
I'm always going to be rooting for Grixis to come back.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, I think that is a lot more possible when you have a large set that is not as limited to tricolored sets.
Correct. And in this case, you've got Kolaghan and Silumgar broods falling into Grixis.
Yes.
Silumgar himself, not great, but we've seen other things. Yeah. The Regent, maybe. No, we didn't like the Regent.
No.
I take it back.
We'll see. Let's reserve all judgment in that respect. As a really quick question, what do you think the land? What's going to go on with the land? They have to have some kind of different. Maybe just the come into play tapped gain a life land, or
do you think they'll reprint those? I don't think they'll reprint those.
Then they're just going to do something completely different.
No, they have to reprint them because right now they're in both parts of draft. Maybe they'll reprint them with a third version of art.
I don't.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
They're not going to do...
this time there's just dragons in all of the lands?
They're not going to do ally shock lands.
Uh-huh.
Well, there won't be dragon bones.
No, there'll be flying dragons.
Right.
Yeah. That'd be...
human bones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the former humans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
Let's just say I'm looking forward to a lot more spoilers.
Yeah.
I love seeing all the new effects, and I love feeling bad about thinking where they'll go. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're going to see some really incredible cards. These are early spoilers. They're probably going to drop the Dragon Lords and commands that are going to be maybe most polarizing. And later we'll see the things that are really going to be valuable.
Yep. Yeah. I think all these cards are great in draft and limited, and we'll see if anything survives the initial hype.
Yeah, we haven't seen any failure rares for draft.
No
one with nothings.
Right. Yeah.
So
that'll do it. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 1 of Not Another Tragic Slip. Yeah.
And we've been glad to have you with us.
Yes. All right. Take care.
On the radio back in '86, I seen someone coming from the sticks. They gonna sing me a song like I never heard. From Heisenberg. What you talking about? Early. What you talking about? So good. What you talking about? A little Tarkir.